Look how thick that is. Bondo and paint does not make it something that it ain't. It's gray right here. That is JB West. Alright guys, that is not how you put a rocker panel in. Somebody's been definitely doing some Bondo things. Like the Hot Rod Garage behind me, we have an early Bronco project. Gonna be a new series on the channel, so let me flip around, we'll get into it. So guys, what we have here is a 1972 Ford Bronco. Now, this Bronco's got a rather interesting story. This thing was listed on Bring a Trailer at one time, and the story I'd got was it was sold, and during transport the truck got hit, the trailer flipped over, and the Bronco got totaled. The Bronco in question was this copper color, as seen on the door and the hood. You know, the rest of it's orange. Well, we got a dash over here that is copper colored also, and a filler piece goes above the rear bumper. We go down here, we will notice this thing has a super nice frame and has a super nice front end, and everything's all painted up underneath it. But when you get up here, we start to see some pretty bad things going on. Been picking at the paint a little bit because it's not really stuck. Orange paint anyway. But the story goes that when this thing was totaled, it got parted out. The body was discarded, and they have got this replacement body and put on the frame. So for all intents and purposes, it's the same Bronco, meaning that it has a donor body shell on it. And it would be great if the donor body shell was a great shell, but it is solid. It does not appear to be full of filler that we found yet, and but there is some big problems. So whoever done the cut job on these fenders, looks like a blind 3-year-old done them. Got multiple series of holes. So it's going to have a set of fenders put on it, because this ain't going to be some kind of off-road rig. And like I said, it's got some nice frame and suspension stuff. The doors are pretty decent on it, both of them, even the primer one. This rocker panel right here, I don't know if you can see, it's got a curvature, it's got a bow to it. It is also bent up at the bottom and on this plane. The top of it here, I went and measured a Bronco that is known original. This quarter panel right here is 15/16 of an inch pushed in right here. And you can really see it, and you might not be able to see it in the video, but when you look down the side of this thing, the top rail there and then the door, it all kind of just rolls in. The tub's not square, none whatsoever. Some of it might be able to be addressed with some shimming on the body mounts, but like the top of this quarter, I'm gonna have to pour the power, push this thing out. I'm also gonna come in here and put quarter panels in it and get rid of this cut job mess, which, like I said, would be great if you're just going to build a trail rig. But if you want to build a nice Bronco, this ain't the way to go anymore. So the end caps look nice. The fitment back here with the tailgate, which there's no tailgate latches or anything or rods or nothing in it. This measurement in here is okay, but our cross measurement from here to there and from there to there is not okay, which means the front of these quarters are both tweaked. It doesn't appear to have any major rust in it. It has had a couple of panels put in that looks like here and there, but it seems to be a pretty decent Bronco. And somebody in the past has come in here and ground some paint off to see how much filler or material it had on it. So we got a gap here that runs wide in a V all the way down to the bottom. We have a separation at the rocker panel and more of this weird bow rocker panel stuff going on. And that fender's going to get discarded too. The dash is all bent up, and that's going to get discarded for the original dash out of the other Bronco. But the doors and everything, this door right here seems to be fairly original, looks like. It don't have a whole lot of anything in it. It looks good and solid. And like I said, the inner jam of the rocker panel stuff on this Bronco do look good. Somebody has come in here and ground some paint off in some various places. It looks like maybe they were trying to relieve this shell or something to try to get it to flex back. Or maybe they had it braced or something at one time. But don't seem that their bracing has done a whole lot of good. This replacement top has a hole up here in the center that we're going to have fixed. And probably going to have this top blasted just to make sure we don't have any crusty stuff in any of these seams. And it does appear to have the fancier grill shell in it that had all the trim and stuff, even though it is not correct for a Bronco that does not have a side trim. Under the hood, the bottom of that hood is undercoated. That's going to have to go. Inner fenders and stuff, all this stuff painted up, it looks somewhat decent, guys. It's not horrible, but it's going to have to be, to make a nice Bronco, all this stuff's going to have to be repainted. Somebody has come up here in the cowl and also ground paint off at various spots. But other than that, this is what you see, guys. This is what I have for this Bronco here to put this thing together, is everything you see in this video, which isn't a whole lot at all. So I want this video to kind of be an introduction to this project and what we're going to have to get into to fix this thing. This isn't going to be a show Bronco. This is going to be a driver quality Bronco, kind of like the 65 Mustang. We are going to build a nice one out of it, but we are not going to build something so perfect that it can't be driven and enjoyed. So all in all, guys, I think it is a fairly okay project. I'm not going to say it is a perfect project considering its history. This thing has been on its side or on its top or something at one time bad enough that literally the only thing stable were the hood, the dash, and that passenger side door and the frame itself. So it had to be pretty bad. I've not seen any pictures of it wrecked. I've reached out to the original owner that had it on Bring a Trailer. I reached out to the second owner that swapped the orange body onto it. And I am currently building it for the current owner that also owns the 68 Charger you see on my channel. So this is another one of his projects. So we got a lot of stuff to do, guys. And at some point we're going to get that Charger back in here. We're going to do some metal work on it also. We just moved the Bronco up a little ahead of the Charger. So let's start getting this thing tore down. I need to get the dash, the wiring harness, the seats out of it. I need to go ahead and get the grill and the fenders and the hood up there off of it. And anything that's going to hinder putting panels in this thing and stuff that we're not going to use. So let's get to it. Well, first wrench is turned on this thing and we're already starting to see stuff like this. These are bolts that had stuck through for the passenger seat pivot and had the nuts cross-threaded on. So the next step, I guess, guys, is going to be to get the dash out of this thing and the wiring harness, because we're going to replace the harness and we're going to replace the dash. But in order to make sure everything looks good on the bottom side up under here, and to be able to paint up behind this firewall, and you'll see why here in a minute when we get this out, it's got to come out. So it looks like somebody has already been in here trying to take the dash out for us, and quite roughly, because none of the brackets line up or behind anything. So that's also mildly concerning. So like I said, I pulled a bunch of measurements off this thing and it is nowhere near square or even close to Ford tolerances, which are usually plus or minus 1/4 of an inch. This thing is an inch to 15/16 out to 1/4 to 5/16, all over the place. So let's jump back in a little more time lapse. We'll get the dash out of it. Well, this ain't good, guys. I know I'll have to bring you off to stand and see, but the main structural support of the body up here is rotten. And not only is it rotten on the passenger side, it's rotten over here. It's rotten all up through here, all up under here, all up under here, all up under the base, the dash up under here, all the way to about halfway. It's that's going to be a problem, because now you have to question everything. If they put a slick paint job on this tub, like the orange, it is shiny and slick. And they didn't address that, because obviously it had dash out of it. Dash has been out of it because we took 2 bolts out and it come out. There's more than 2 bolts holding in. Somebody knew this rust was here and decided just to ignore it. That might explain why the windshield frame's all tweaked out of spec. Let me take y'all off stand and show you. Alright, so I'm going to try to shed some light on this situation without overly blinding you guys. But we got rust holes all up through here. All the way across the bottom here. I don't know if you can see. I knocked most of them in. And over here, there's little holes all the way across. They start to get bigger the closer you get to the edges. And it's pretty rotten all down the inside right here. All around where your hinge pillar is and stuff. And it makes me start to question some of the floor work. So you see it's overlapped. We got some crusty stuff coming up on their little plate there. And we got holes punched in the floor. All the bolt holes are kind of swollen and not level. And it's gonna be quite the mess. My point being, guys, if they don't care about that, what's hidden under these fenders in this pillar down through here? What's hidden in this windshield frame base all the way across? What's hidden? That said, what else is hidden in the body? What's hidden at this point? I know they probably sell that panel. It's probably not a big deal to put in. We put in worse stuff on the channel. It's not a big deal in hindsight, but it's a big deal when you think you have a solid project like he thought he had, and because it did have a somewhat shiny paint job on it, is when you don't have one. Kind of like 65 Mustang Hack Job, except we knew it didn't have a good paint job on it. This thing has a nice paint job on it, guys. And when I say nice paint job, guys, I mean it's not a Rust-Oleum job. I mean, it's got nice base clear on it. Question is, what's hiding in here? Is it just Bondo and hope? That's going to be the question. But what I'm concerned about, I'm concerned in these areas in here. I'm concerned at the base up here, right here. So I guess next we'll take these fenders off and the grill shell out of it, so we can have a look up in this area on the outside of this structure. So at this point, I was going to put rocker panels in anyway because they're all jacked up, but I really didn't want this to be another hack job kind of deal. This was supposed to be a good solid Bronco. Good solid Bronco. They're never solid, guys, but the old car's got rust in it somewhere. Unless you've known the car for a long time, no. It's going to be hidden like this is. I don't think there's a whole lot holding this thing together. 90% of the grill shell bolt. It's got one up here in the corner and one at the base, so hopefully we don't find anything else, guys. I knew I was going to find something hidden in it. I just didn't know what I was going to find. Well, we got a patch panel here that runs all the way down. It looks like it's welded in. They didn't grind the welds down or seam seal anything, just painted over it. But right here is our place in question with the rust. Right here. Seam sealer. Just cover it up and hide it. Cover it up and hide it. And on the driver's side, we got more of the same patch here. And they went to some extra to try to hide this side. It does have a panel welded over the top of it. But you can see inside it right here, and you can see inside it right here. You can see inside it right here, and right here. Let's take the old seam duster and see what we got here. And I'll show you guys. This is not how you deal with rust, guys. That is not how you do it. Got one weld out. There's the hold. It's just about as bad as covering it up with seam sealer, if not worse. I mean, this is kind of obvious. Yeah, might as well just go ahead and just knock it off. We're gonna have to do some work in here anyway. Go ahead and put a panel in it anyway. Good solid Bronco. Seam sealer. I bet this Bronco, when it rained outside, it rained inside. Like I said, what else is hidden, guys? What else is hidden? Looking down through that seam down through there, it don't look good at all. Well, I guess I better take this air box off right here and see what's under here. Go ahead and get the hood off of it. That means I'm gonna need some help. So I don't know when that will be, but it's not gonna be instantaneous. So let's see if we can't take some of this other stuff off in the process of waiting. I think we're gonna find quite a bit of hidden stuff. At least this seems solid. Word seam seems to be the phrase here, and I might start to question that up here towards the front because it looks like somebody's been in here too. Looks like we got some globby stuff. So let's see what we got right here. Hopefully nothing. Looks like just a lot of paint, so that's good. But all this stuff up through here is in question, guys. All this stuff. I'll tell you one thing, this brace does not look good at all inside in here. In fact, it's full of stuff. I didn't notice this at first. Seen this lip was bent and I went to pull it out and got a stress crack in the body right there in the structure. So have to watch out for those too, especially on something four-wheel drive that flexes. Got to watch out for stress cracks. Seam sealer to hide the rust. For the record, seam sealer is not meant to cover up rust or hide it. If you put seam sealer over rust, it will continue to rust and create more issues in other places. If you try to fill holes with seam sealer or Bondo and you do not clean out the braces, you're going to have the same thing again. Let me flip it around. So, just because you put fresh seam sealer up here before you paint it does not mean that this rust in here does not exist. A good thing is, it don't extend up into here. Bad thing is, this piece of sheet metal right here is this piece of sheet metal. Little hole in the cowl is a big hole in the cowl. Little hole in the cowl that looked like a blister, looked like its seam sealer swelled up, was another hole in the cowl. The whole seam down through here, I just didn't bother picking this out. The whole seam down through here is rotten. And I went ahead and just peeled this up because show you guys just the facts of what looks like some small holes on one side. When you look on the inside of it, this is what you get. Seam sealer and thick steel plates that are painted spot welded over rust holes does not make this stuff go away, nor does it make a good solid Bronco. Bondo and paint does not make it something that it ain't. What it does do is hide it. Like I said, the orange paint looked pretty slick on it, other than where I've been picking at it where it was swollen up, where it had a couple little blisters. Never thought all this would be under there, did you? I sure didn't. Especially after, you know, having a phone conversation and being told how good and solid and straight this Bronco body was. It is not good, solid, or straight. It's not square in the back. I done went over those measurements. It's out of square. The whole front of it up here is rotten up under the dash. Going to put a whole cowl in it and probably partial of the windshield frame. Not the folding portion of it, but the base where your hood hinges and all that stuff bolt up. Not a bad job, guys. It's no worse than putting a cowl in an early Mustang, but it's going to be a job. To the point where you wonder if it's just going to be a good idea, just go ahead and put the A-pillar in it up here. Instead of been in here patching, we don't know what's under it. Did they just weld the panel over the top of a bunch of rot holes? Or did they cut it out and actually weld this panel in there and everything's right behind it? That's going to be a big question because we don't know. There's a couple ways I guess I could explore that, and that might be to drill a couple of holes in it and see if we run through multiple pieces of metal, or maybe drill a hole and run our bore scope down in there and have a peek behind. Or I guess we could take door hinges out of it and just look through door hinge holes. But I wasn't ready to take the doors off of it yet, but I think I'm going to have to. Because I'm going to have to take the windshield frame off of it, obviously. And we got a bunch of metal to extract up here before the rear stuff even becomes a thing. So I guess let's poke around down here down below in this rocker panel area, and we'll beat around in this A-pillar area a little bit too, and see if we can't figure out exactly what all the metal we're going to need. I think at this point might not be a bad idea just to go ahead and brace this thing up and take it off the frame and have this body blasted. Well, that way all its sins are uncovered. I know he wasn't necessarily expecting that kind of cost. I'm sure he wasn't expecting this, considering he thought he had a good solid Bronco. So, I don't know at this point. It's going to be a thing. To be honest, I don't know if bracing it up is even worth doing, because it's all that square anyway. It's all going to be pushed back into position and orientation and things. I don't know. It's a pretty big mess. Well, I got her plug out up here, and I decided to go in a rust hole in here and do some exploring around in here. So let me show you guys what I see, because ultimately he's going to see this too. And I just want everybody to look at what the inside of the body structure of this thing looks like. Some of it don't look so bad, some of it looks bad. And this is right behind your upper hinge right here. I'm not seeing where they cut this whole front of this panel out and weld this in right here. We should have it cut open right here at the front. Right here. I'm not seeing no new metal. This panel is segmented off in several different ways, and I'm not seeing anything where they've cut it out fully in here, or even partially. It does look like they have just capped a bunch of rotten rust down in there, and that's not cool either. Something you run into with soul stuff, guys. One of these bore scopes they're handy for exploratory things like this, as long as you got a way to get down in them. So let's go all the way down as far as we can anyway. I'm sure this is probably segmented off somewhere else. Yep, right here at the other door hinge. It's segmented off in there. I mean, I'm not seeing nothing that looks real great down in here. Let's see if we can go through there. We can't go through that one. So I was hoping to get down inside that rocker panel, but I think I've seen enough to know that they probably just put them plates over there to cap off the rust, that it's not fixed right behind it. So yeah, it's rusty up in the A-pillar of it too, pretty bad. So I broke out the telltale for these rocker panels. I wanted to see if it actually had rockers put in it, or if somebody's just been in here Bondo bashing, and somebody's definitely been doing some Bondo things. Somebody's been definitely doing some Bondo things. You guys see how thick this stuff is? For reference, that right there is 1/2 inch thick, if not more. Like, you guys see that? That's the bottom of this rocker under here. I don't know what's going on here. I have a feeling I do. See if we can you see that, right? This thing is just a botched up turd, is what it is. Good solid Bronco. Yeah, good solid Bronco. Got a seam right here. I'm gonna go ahead and dig this up through here. Yep, they've done some work all right. Wow. Explains why it was bowed out in the center. It really does. You know, the 1/2 inch Bondo here. You see how wide my screwdriver tip is in comparison to my thumb. This thing has got, it's been botched up bad, guys. Bad. I'm curious if they even cut out behind this. So, let's do a little exploratory. We're going to fix this stuff anyway, guys. Not going to do no damage no more than what we already have. So, let's going to get this screwdriver in here enough to get my seam busted behind it. Open this thing on up. Bondo. Only weld. Yep. Wow. They literally, any gap, they just filled it full of Bondo. Wow. And they fold the lip up in order to Bondo the panel. Yeah. Alright guys, that is not how you put a rocker panel in. You do not beat up a panel and then use Bondo to adhere panel to said panel, and then like 3 or 4 spot welds that aren't penetrated. And yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure some of you are like, you're running the Bronco. Guys, this thing was run with whoever put their hands on it beforehand. Good Lord, is all I can say. yeah, this thing is yep, it's getting blasted. Whether he likes it or not, it's getting blasted. I'm not having the 65 Mustang all over again here. There's too much stuff hidden. Well, I think we went this far. We might as well dig around the other side and see what kind of surprises and treasures it's got over there. And yeah. Well, normally I'd time lapse something like this, but let's see what we got going on over here. This rocker's bowed out too. Somewhere right in here in the center, it's all kind of a mess too. So what I've done on the other side, I started up here. At the seams to see, there's a seam right here, about right here on the corner, to see if there was Bondo there, and the door jam's full of Bondo also. So then I come down at a couple of places with a wire brush on reverse, and it's going to tear off paint really fast. And I'll come in here and I'll just kind of dig around until I start to see something that kind of looks funny. And it just depends. We may get into some places, like right here, we're starting to see a lot. There's a lot of filler in this seam right here. So we're gonna move down to here. We don't have a lot of Bondo right there, so we're gonna move back here. I'm just going to start digging a line. She's thick right here. And go thick to thin right here. So we definitely got something going on back here in the back half of this rocker panel too. So the front half of it don't have a lot of Bondo in it. So I'm gonna go down here at the bottom and see if I can't see anything obvious like the other side. And we'll try to look for a seam somewhere. So far I'm not seeing a seam on this side, so, but I am seeing some stuff that don't look good. I think this is just your standard Bondo job. Standard Bondo job. With a 1/2 inch Bondo. I see standard Bondo job. Holy moly. Bondo. I literally just globbed it in there, guys. Can't deny this one. Apparently I just wasn't grinding it in the right spots. Didn't even bother to clean the rat's nest out of it before they bondoed it. Or maybe they put this in there to have the bondo something to stick to. Wow. All right, guys, I want you to see how thick this is. This is your standard 2-inch putty scraper. Right here, look how thick that is. Down here, look how thick that is. She's rotten. Like I said, good solid Bronco, guys. That's what this is. What I was told on the phone yesterday. Good solid Bronco. Well, let's move to the back here. The quarter panels don't matter because we were going to be putting quarter panels in anyway. Let's see what the end caps look like. Maybe. So, got 2 screws out of our tail light housing. Side note, dark gray does not reflect light, so. The end caps look okay so far. Run a bore scope up and down inside that. You can see a lot with our hands, but I need to see a lot without my hands. And there have been places where you cannot see such things. I can tell you one thing, this body was originally blue, and we definitely got some Bondo-y things going on. So we seem to have some around the here. Got a lot in here. Don't have a lot in there. Got a lot in there. And the good old we'll just Bondo the hole up. And we might as well move on to the obvious. We never see it's got Bondo down here. Don't look like it's got a whole lot in it though. That's good. But I'm not filling any of the drain holes on the bottom of it that it's supposed to have. Yep, it's full down there at the bottom. And it's got Bondo all up in the top of it up here. You see the little dots, guys? That's where somebody has used a dent puller in the past. One of the ones that you drill through. It is it's full of Bondo all up in through here. There's one of our holes right there. More up here. And they run all the way across. I went in and dug on this tailgate because something just didn't seem right here. Somebody has put a panel, this lower panel on it. There's a big lip here. Right here, we don't have no drain holes in it. We have a spot weld here in the corner, a ginormous gap over here. And as you can see, it's not attached. Ginormous gap here. That's just filled with Bondo. Not even seam sealer, just regular Bondo. Right here. And just a spot weld. Looks like another spot weld. I'm not going to grind all this out. This tailgate right here is garbage too. So I hope this is eye-opening for a lot of you guys. Y'all seen the outside of this thing. Would you ever expected 90% of this to be under it? Not me either. But at this point, the more I dig, the more it might be in his best interest to buy a repop tub. Money-wise, because I had to add up the labor, but it's going to get quite expensive quite fast. And we still got to have this thing blasted. We still got to seal it. And then we'll have to go in there and fix whatever else is hidden that we've not seen or found yet. So they have done a good job of hiding stuff on this one. And we already knew that it's got a big gap in there, so I'm curious if it's got one over here too. Let's just get it. Bondo and filter. It does. I'm telling you guys, all these have seams right here, but Ford qualities are quite a bit better than this. Than copious amounts of body filler. Bondo is not seam sealer. By no means is it seam sealer. Yeah, since we already got a hole here, I'm just going to open this up and we'll run our bore scope down on the inside. If we fix it, we'll have to weld it up anyway. It's not welded anywhere that it's supposed to be, so I think we're going to hurt anything here. So what that does is going to give us access in here to see what kind of mess we have in here. You see an overlap seam in here. It's barely sitting down here at the bottom. We just got very few little tack welds. I don't know if you guys can see it in there. Got plenty of rust in the lower seam. This is back up over here at the corner. I wish I could see up just a little bit better. You see where all the metals overlap. In here. It looks about exactly like I thought it would. Inside. Just lots of crusty. And that's our other corner down there on the other end, down there. So I don't see anything I didn't expect, guys. Just a lot of the same mess that we're dealing with here. So Bondo. Yep, might as well look at the other side. You put lipstick on a pig all day long, guys, but in the end, it's still a pig. I'll tell you one thing, none of this stuff's hooked up, nor is it in good shape. So, we'll look down in here. I'm just going to visually feel and look. I don't feel nothing horrible on this side, I don't think. Might be something right here. So I want to get that hole there. I'm just going to do some exploratory wire brushing down this. I'm just going to do a line down through here. Let's see if I run into anything super thick. And so far, nothing really surprising. It's all got filler on it. Probably to slick it up, but it's not overly thick like our other side is. And obviously we got a Bondo filled hole there. Well, I think there's only one place I've not looked. The other door has been blasted at one time. So the other door does not have any filler or rust in it. This door is off the original Bronco, off the original shell that all this stuff come out of. So let's see how good a $60,000 Bronco is. And I think we've had enough Bondo that our drill battery's dead. Let me swap drills. We'll have to name this thing the Bondo Bronco. Once again, guys, $9 stuff. It's not much better than our car flipper stuff that we got on the 65 Mustang. Not as bad as the rest of it, but she's got some Bondo in her. Looks like somebody's at least welded a patch in this one fully down here at the bottom. Alright, I was about ready to give them credit, guys. At least they welded the panel in fully. I don't see no pinholes, no gaps. It's not flat, and they warped the crap out of this door down here. Put this panel in. But in here, I kid you not, guys, This gray right here, that is JB Weld. JB Weld's got its own smell. And I'm sure if you guys know that you know what JB Weld smells like, especially if you sand it or grind it. This is JB Weld all along this seam down through here. There's no weld down here. It's literally just glob full of JB Weld down this whole bottom seam down through here. And this door is super thick right here on these seams. This is off the original Bring a Trailer Bronco that the frame and the dash come from. Let me say something, guys. You know, the work I do may not be perfect or up to some people's standards. But guys, I ain't doing stuff like this. I'm not shoving JB Weld in rust holes and door seams. I'm not completely filling something full of Bondo to try to hide stuff. And I can't sell none of my cars, but stuff like this sells every day. He gave quite a bit for this roller, okay? More than a Hack Job Mustang money for this Bronco roller, because it is an early Bronco. However, it is an early Bronco that has been cut and has, yeah. I don't make enough money. That's all I'm gonna say, guys. I don't make enough money for as much as I care about this stuff. I care about these cars, and I care about the quality of stuff, and I do it to the best of my personal ability. But there's people putting stuff out there like this, guys, and selling it for big money. And I will say this. The Copper Bronco is a very well-known Bronco restorer. And it also went to another well-known high-end Bronco restorer, which is where it come from, which it was said to be a good, solid Bronco. So, let's talk about what it's going to kind of cost in labor to fix said Bronco like this. So the easiest way to get us to think about this is roughly think about 10 hours per panel. So each fender 10 hours, hood 10 hours, grill 10 hours. And it don't matter if you buy new stuff or not. This stuff's going to need attention. It's going to need straightening up. It's going to need body work. It's going to need fitment. 20 hours, upper cowl, windshield frame, doorpost area. Roughly 10 hours a door, 10 hours quarter, 5 hours of end cap, 10 hours on the roof, 10 hours in the tailgate. You get where I'm going here, right? Well, before you know it, you got about 150 to 160 hours of labor just in bodywork and fitment stuff. And we didn't even talk about the rocker panels. I'm just lumping that in there in that labor time somewhere. You're going to have somewhere around $15,000 in labor just in body work and metal work. Now, we're not counting having this thing blasted, paying somebody to blast it or strip it or do anything like that. That's $15,000 plus materials, roughly. You can buy a whole new Bronco tub for about that and have something that you know is absolutely rust free inside of everything. And then you just go up and you're going to have to do some body work to it too, but you're going to end up saving money in the long run, because let's just say this, guys, good paint materials, good primer, sandpapers and stuff, you're going to have at least $5,000 additional in it, okay? If you spray a good quality line paint on it, I'm not talking about some value line stuff, some budget stuff like we usually spray. At this point, you're building a super nice Bronco. You don't have no choice at this point. You're replacing all this stuff regardless, so you're going to end up with a super nice Bronco. You're going to add another $5,000. And that's not necessarily the best. That's probably a good quality above a jobber line, right? And you don't have no glass, you don't have no steering stuff. You don't have no trim pieces or interior. But we're not going to get into that. Just body alone, guys, you're going to have somewhere around this right here in this Bronco, if not more. Most shops, a $25,000 paint job is going to get you a show quality paint job. It is not, however, going to get all your metal replaced and all the bodywork done, especially with the dark color. So this stuff you need to chew on when you think about stuff like this for your own projects. And I'm not even pricing metal, guys. That's $25,000 without the pieces to fix it. We need 2 fenders. Might as well put 2 doors on it. It needs 2 quarter panels. It needs 2 end caps. It needs a tailgate. It needs an upper cowl. And at that point, how much this other structure that's got overlapping rust hidden underneath it really needs to be replaced by the time you get blasted? Those are the big questions when you restore a classic car. Not just doll one up and drive it, guys, and enjoy it. When you go to the point of restoring something, and unfortunately this Bronco was took to that point, and we're left here. I mean, you still don't know. We still don't know 100% what's hidden under the paint on it. We dug in a few places and found lots of ugly stuff in this video. However, when you start media blasting something like this, the real ugly starts showing its head. Where they put floor pans in it. Are the floor pans put in any better than the rocker panel patches and the patches that we've seen and covered up stuff? It would be bad to blast the floor of this thing. And where they got all that bed liner in there, for it to be full of pinholes. And then you're putting a bed floor and you're putting floor pans in it and a firewall, and it's got the potential to be a super ugly project, guys. Super ugly project. And just like the 65 Mustang, the Hack Job car, he has 2 of these. One of them we know is rusty. This one was supposed to be the nice one. And seriously, guys, I do want your opinion. What would you do in this case? I think I am going to urge him to look into a repop body shell on this one. The frame is too nice to put some kind of hacked up mess on top of it. I do believe there might be enough of this Bronco that is solid to patch up his other Bronco. However, I do not feel like this is a good base to build. And like I said earlier in the video, I was told this was a good Bronco to build off of. It's not. It's way too hacked up, guys. Way too hacked up to make a nice Bronco. Now, I don't know what Bronco guys consider nice, guys, but in the classic car world, this thing, it's just going to be another botched up hack job if you go in here and start replacing stuff. There's too much hidden rust into pillars and stuff that it would have to be dipped to ever get rid of the rust, and then you got the chore of getting all the acid out of it and making sure that it's treated properly in between panels. I just don't think there's a lot of good here. I mean, the bed floor in it is drilled full of holes. The floors have been patched, obviously overlapped patches, which is okay, guys. It's okay stuff to overlap sometimes. It's just going to harbor more rust in the future, but you know, it's not hurting anything, so to say, right? So we ended up with a good door. The driver's door is good. I'm not going to grind around on that hood. Like I said, the whole bottom of it is covered in undercoating. But it does have lots and lots of paint on it too. Just like this copper colored door has lots of filler in the bottom of it, all the way up to the middle. I'm going to assume the hood is no better. So we got a driver's door. We got a grill shield that looks like it's been blasted. We have a dash and a top. A top that's kind of questionable because I don't know what's up there in that back corner. I can see inside there and I can tell you it is not a dent. I cannot tell you if it is rust, but it is brown up in there, so I won't assume it's rust. And we got a good windshield frame. And some good pieces here and there. But for the time that I'm going to have to invest in this thing, I just don't know if it's a good decision on my or his part. Can I fix it? Yes, I can. Should we fix it? Probably not. So guys, it seems that we got ourselves into another mess. However, this time I dug into it. I wanted to see exactly what was here before I even got started. Before I even 100% commit to this thing, we had to go in here and dig this stuff out, guys, to know what we had. And what we got is a big old steamy pile of poo-poo, so to say. It is another hack job. Just a different flavor of hack job and a different flavor of hack job. But once again, another desirable car that somebody has botched up to pass on to somebody else in hopes of giving somebody else the good old ramming, so to say. I'm going to urge you guys, just like I did in the Hack Job series, always, 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 guys, when you buy something like this, take a friend that knows something about classic cars. If you have absolutely no clue, find a classic car shop and take that car there and let them look at it fully before you commit to any kind of purchase. I know what he gave for this thing, and there is absolutely no way. No way, guys. What he bought is a frame at this point. It didn't come with the top. He bought the top separate. So he bought a frame. Not a whole lot of good. So if you haven't, guys, make sure you hit that like button on this video. Share it with your friends. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. It does help the channel grow. Helps me bring you more stuff like this. Not that I really want to, but that's kind of the flavor of the way it is around here. If you are a subscriber, I greatly appreciate you guys, and I look forward to everybody's comments down below. It's also a good time to remind you guys that we do have memberships, give you early access to all these videos, and to some members only posts. It's a cheap way to help support the channel, and it helps me out, and helps me bring you more content like this. So, until our next video, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one. The Bondo Bronco.